Hello, everybody. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm Nat. I'm a horse witch, and I like to talk about tarot a lot. Today, I am very late on doing a tag by the Hermit's Cave, and it is decks for life. So 10 tarot decks that will never leave my collection for any reason. And it was really hard to choose only 10, actually. So, without further ado, let's get into the number one deck not leaving my collection. And that is the Spiritsong Tarot by Paulina Faye. And this was a gift from my mom. It was my very first tarot deck. And there's only a few cards in here because I used this deck I have edged it in this blue. That was my first deck mod ever. And I have used this in my monthly envelopes as part of my practice. So I also did Unlocking the Tarot by Lisa Pepez with this deck. Paulina Cassidy or Paulina Faye is a wonderful artist, and this is a very gentle but firm deck, I would say, for me. A lot of people find it to be very gentle all over, but I also find that it's quite firm. Like, it's going to give you bad news, but it's going to hold your hand while it does it. And this is a great deck for people who want animal decks as a mass market. This is one of the decks that I recommend without fail because it is so beautiful. And as we are all celebrating Jimothy the raccoon, here is the Page of Feathers. If you don't know who Jimothy the raccoon is, please go Google him. He's all over Threads right now. And he is our new mascot. So this was a deck given to me for Christmas by my mom. It was my first deck ever. And I will admit that this is not a great first deck. Animal decks are really hard to read with. And it does kind of keep to the RWS meaning, but the artwork can be a little busy until you know what you're looking at. And that being said, fabulous deck, never going to get rid of it. Next is the second deck I will never get rid of, and I have multiple copies of this deck. And it is the deck that truly taught me how to read tarot, and that is the Lightseers Tarot by Chris-Anne. I have the indie version of this. I have the mass market version of this because I didn't want to ruin my indie version. And I have the tarot in the tin that lives in my purse. For someone who wants a more modern deck, and I edged mine in this gray, for someone who wants a more modern deck, this is a fabulous deck. This is really the deck that kind of helped me learn the meanings. And I was able to really kind of lock on to what the RWS was saying with this deck. And I know people have a love-hate relationship with it. For some people, it's a little too Coachella. For others, they don't like how Chris-Anne handled the Ten of Swords controversy that happened when it was a Kickstarter. All of that happened before I was into tarot. And for me, it's just a really pretty modern deck. And one that I think is a classic and is going to be around for a really, really long time. So, never getting rid of it. If it goes out of print, I'll probably buy like 500 copies just so I always have one. And it's a great deck. And if someone is looking to learn tarot, this is a deck that I recommend frequently. And that really drives the people who don't like it crazy, but it is what it is. So anyway, that is the Lightseers Tarot number 2. Next, let's see. Next, we'll do this one. I'm kind of going in order of how these decks came into my collection. And the third deck I will never get rid of is Tayrot deck, the fantastic Mastermind Tayrot deck by Suburban Witch. It is all original artwork. It is not licensed by Taylor in any way, shape, or form. And it is good fun. So it's all original artwork. I edged mine in this beautiful pink. It matches the back of the cards. And this is just a novelty deck that I really love using. Each card depicts a scene of Taylor and has a lyric. So for the Six of Cups, it's "Please picture me in the weeds before I learn civility." But it's such a great deck. It gives really good readings, actually. And I love using this for my fellow Swifties. 10 of Wands. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. And I love that quote with the 10 of Wands. So it's just a great deck. It has different looks from her concerts, and it's just fabulous. I love the Knight of Swords riding on her cat. Super fun novelty deck, reads really well, and as a Swiftie, I love that it is by a small business, and I'll never get rid of it. In fact, I have like 11 copies. for reasons. I bought them for a project. I bought them wholesale from Suburban Witch for a project. So if you're interested in this deck, please give me a call. Give me a jingle. Write me a note. I have some. Next is a deck that is never leaving my collection. This was a gift from my friend Tamara. Tamara is the author and creator of this deck. It's called Wild Goddesses of the Screen and Beyond. It is an oracle deck that she created. And if you're interested in purchasing this deck, let me know and I will direct you to Tamara herself. She designed this deck using, what's the word I want to use? Free images, I guess, and wrote the guidebook herself. And it features classic Hollywood bombshells and also goddesses of the screen and beyond, and also historical witchcraft figures like Mama Brigitte, Boudica, the Morgana Le Fay, and of course, the ultimate starlet, Marilyn Monroe. And it's just such a great deck. I really like it. Each one has a keyword, and then the guidebook tells you about the starlet or the goddess or the historical figure, and it is in alphabetical order. So, for example, Betty Davis, self-belief. It has a quote from her. "I had great belief in my talent, my acting choices, my characters, and while I disagreed with decisions, I said so. I didn't give a damn what others thought. If you go through life making enemies, you aren't being honest." If Betty Davis comes roaring into your life, you are being asked to take stock and have a good look at your circumstances and start believing in yourself and your instincts. Betty Davis was known for the huge risks she took with the physical choices she made for her characters, from shaving half her head and her eyebrows, which she later admitted was a mistake as they never grew back properly, to play Elizabeth I, to the grotesque makeup and ringleted wig she wore in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. She warred with her studio boss, Jack Warner, for 18 years, sparring with him over the forgettable parts, which were often part of her contract. Her belief in herself was paramount, and everyone else could go to hell. Renowned as immensely difficult to work with and often downright rude, social pleasantries weren't high on Betty's priorities. She charges into your life to tell you to stop being pushed around, forget people pleasing, and start saying no. And for God's sake, develop some faith in yourself and your decisions. You are a strong, independent person, and with Betty's guidance, you can show the world exactly that. And so all of the women in here have entries like that. And I know Tamara spent a huge amount of time working on this deck. She poured a lot of energy into it, and it is just fabulous, and I really love reading with it. And she gifted it to me. So for that alone, it will never leave my collection. Next, speaking of Jimothy, we have the Trash Panda Tarot. This is created by J. Starling Dukart. And this deck is as whimsical as it is wonderful. I have nothing to say about this deck. It's fabulous. It has the sporks as swords. Wands are marshmallows on sticks. Pentacles are 20-sided dice. And cups are cans of grape soda. It's definitely a Rider-Waite-ish clone. The raccoons are depicted doing things to show the meaning of the card, and it is wonderful. If you don't have this deck, it's just such a staple for a whimsical deck. I would highly recommend it, mostly because it is so cute and whimsical. The art is all, it's, no AI or anything like that. And it is so cute. Look at this King of Pentacles, this little trash panda and all of his goodies on the Highland cow eating grapes. So fabulous. It's so cute. It's so cute, and it reads really well. And I just couldn't imagine ever getting rid of this. So if you love Jimothy, here's a tarot deck of his brethren. Next, we have an all-around reader. This is my Pixie Pop that I keep in this bag because I take it with me a lot. This is just a traditional RWS. It is a smaller size than a traditional tarot card, and it has been recolorized. So let me find a traditional card. Well, here we go. So here's a traditional card. It's from my pink Rider-Waite, and you can see that it is a good deal smaller. My little hobbit hands appreciate that. I loved the recolorized version. It features more people of color, and it just is very vibrant, while also being traditional Rider-Waite. And so it is good fun. It's a great travel deck. I don't need a guidebook. I can just pull it out and read with it whenever, and it is always grand. So this is another deck never leaving my collection. But I do love the vibrant colors on this. And I had a reversal, which is really weird because I don't read with reversals. Okay, I say that. I don't put reversals in my deck. So if a card comes out reversed, it's really meant to be read that way. And so I will read it reversed. But I don't intentionally put reversals in my deck intending to read them reversed, if that makes any sense. So this is just a great little deck. I keep it in a Peggy pouch because, like I said, I take it with me places. And before I got my Light Seers in a tin, this was my purse deck. Speaking of Rider Waite's, we'll just go with the next one, which is my pink deck. This was a cheap Amazon deck. It is, I talked about this in my haul video. It's a plastic deck. It's really cute. I've been reaching for this more often than not. And it's just so whimsical, and I love the pink, obviously. And being that it was cheap and the cards are plastic, it can really kind of take a beating. So I've been reaching for this more often than not, and it gives great readings. I love reading with it. Honestly, being plastic, I feel like kind of anything negative energies, any negative stuff I pull with readings and stuff, just kind of slide right off this deck. I don't know if that's all in my head or if that is truth, but anyway, that's just my experience, and it's fun and whimsical. And I've been reaching for it a lot lately. All right, we're down to the final three. So another deck not leaving my collection is the Hilda Tarot Gingham Edition. I love this deck because it reminds me of my paternal grandmother, who had some prints of Hilda in her guest bathroom when I was a child, and had a lot of this mid-century pop culture type of art, which for me really reminds me of her. And it's a cute deck. Hilda as a character is great for women everywhere because she was a plus-sized bombshell depicted in these whimsical like paintings. And Hilda don't give a fuck. Hilda does what she wants. Hilda's out here in a bikini. She's a plus size lady. She doesn't care what you think about her. She's got her little dog. She's having a picnic. She is, doing what she's doing. She is comfortable in her body, and I think we should all be a little more like Hilda. Hilda hates cleaning. I hate cleaning too. I mean, just what an icon Hilda is. I just love her to pieces. Mostly because this is kind of what my body looks like these days. I love this one because she was riding a cow. I mean, she's just living her best plus size life with her little dog. And who doesn't like Hilda? My ninth tarot deck, never leaving my collection, is the indie version of This Might Hurt. If this ever gets damaged and I'm forced to buy a mass market copy, I will be sad. I will probably look for another indie version. The cardstock is phenomenal, and I love the black hollow edges. It's just such a great deck. This is another RWS, but more modern. And it gives such great readings. I love using it. The art choices are amazing. And this is just such a beloved deck. Even people who don't keep it in their collection tell you what a great deck it is. It just doesn't resonate with them. And I've never heard anything negative about This Might Hurt. And for good reason, obviously. Look at how fabulous this deck is. This Knight of Swords on the motorcycle with her knife. It's just fabulous. This is definitely a deck I enjoy using. And I really love modern decks. I really do. I just feel like it's easier for people to resonate with the artwork. And finally, the 10th deck, never leaving my collection, is a new addition given to me by my friend Colleen, and that is Smoke, Ash, and Embers. And most decks that are a gift, I'm never going to get rid of because I hold so much attachment to gifts. It's really hard for me to let them go. I mean, the only way this would be leaving my collection is if I got rid of my entire collection. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. But this is just such a really cute dragon deck. And it's so well done by Three Trees Tarot. I use this a lot in May. But again, it was a gift from my friend Colleen, and so it's with me forever. And I do enjoy Three Trees. I will be probably adding their other decks to my collection when I'm called to them. I do want to get Oak, Ash, and Thorn, Heartwood, and the Winding. The Winding is really cute, even though I'm arachnophobic, but jumping spiders are different. And anyone who has a fear of spiders will eventually come around to jumping spiders because they are so cute and they wave their little butts around and they're just so fuzzy and tiny and adorable. I can't. Anyway, dragons. So, just another really great deck. I've so enjoyed everyone's take on their 10 decks, never leaving their collection. And thank you to the Hermit's Cave for creating this tag. It's been fabulous, and I did a tag. I did it. I did it, guys. This now makes 3 videos on YouTube. So that's it. Those are the 10 decks. And thank you so much for sticking with me. And if you're unaware, I recently came back to YouTube after a little hiatus. I am creating again. I'm in a space where I feel like creating again. And these are the 10 decks, never leaving my collection. And I'm pretty sure I have 10 tarot and 1 oracle. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.